Peace, love, and power, family. Today, I wanted to talk about masculine energy. Now, I want to start off by saying masculine energy does not mean I'm talking about men, because masculinity is an energy, and it's the dance between masculine and feminine energy that has created the universe that we live in. But something I've noticed and something that has affected me quite negatively is the attack that has been happening on masculinity at its core. Because for me, when I was growing up, there is very feminine traits that I have. I'm quite sensitive, I'm quite emotional, but at the same time, these traits have actually powered and supercharged some of my masculine traits, like my desire to lead, my desire to be control my environment, and other things like that. And when I showed that, and I showed the amount of energy and the amount of passion that I had, a lot of times this just wasn't accepted. I was told that these things were too much, right? And I truly have seen the effects of this attack on masculinity and how it's affecting men. We are highest when it comes to committing suicide, and we're not really able to manifest who it is that we want to manifest because parts of us we've been told are wrong. But the truth is that masculine energy at its core is disagreeable and independent. And so to tackle this, I thought, why not make a video on my understanding of what masculine energy is? And again, I believe that everybody has masculine and feminine energy within them. And it's the degree of what this energy you have in you that makes you who you are. So there are going to be women that have quite a lot of masculine energy, but they're in a feminine body, right? That's why they're women. There's going to be men that have quite a bit of feminine energy, like myself, but I am a man. And so when we're able to marry the two and truly appreciate both of them, people, in my opinion, will not feel the need to do a lot of the things that we're doing right now, including trying to change our bodies or take drugs, for example, to try and reduce the amount of energy that we have. And I also believe that, the, the genders, right, will start to really love each other again. Because when I'm looking and I'm at all of these like podcasts and all of these things that are going around, it's almost like we are relying on manipulation to get what we want from the other gender, but we're not getting what we need at a core spiritual level. So when we are talking about masculinity and femininity, I feel like because of the gender war, right, that's happening, I'm going to explain it from a place of the universe, right? So we can understand those energies. So feminine energy is the being of the universe. It's always creating, it's what keeps everything together, it's what nurtures the universe. But then you've got masculine energy. Now, masculine energy is what separates and segregates and judges the universe. So, masculine energy to do this so it can lead the feminine to create, right, and manifest the physical universe, it has certain traits. Some traits are like it's a leader. Naturally, it leads the feminine in a certain direction, right? It's logical because it needs to create structures and boundaries around the feminine energy. It's also quite destructive as well because the feminine can be anything. For it to manifest a specific thing, the rest needs to be destroyed or chipped away at. So if you could imagine just having a rock, right? And you want to get a certain pattern or sculpture, from that rock, you need to destroy parts of that rock so that you are able to get the sculpture that you want. Masculine energy is also quite dominating as well, and it's quite territorial because it needs to ensure that the things that it creates remain that way, right? Because there's always this battle between chaos, which is feminine, and I'm not saying chaos as a bad thing. It's that it's everything, right? So that can be quite chaotic. It's like if you try to eat food and you've got all of like your fruits, and then you've got your vegetables, and then you've got your meat, and then you've got your carbs, and then you've got your juice. And imagine just throwing that all into a bowl and saying, great, let's try to eat that. It's going to be chaotic. It might not taste great because even just the order in which you eat that food will change your experience of the meal. And so what the masculine would do is like, okay, let's take out the meat. Let's have the meat there. Let's take out the rice. Let's have the rice there. Let's take out the vegetables. Let's have the vegetables there. The juice doesn't need to be in the food. Let's put it into a glass, right? The fruits, let's have that a bit afterwards, right? And it dominates that space, right? So that it can create the order in which it needs so that we can enjoy the experience of living in the physical world. So I actually wrote down some other traits as well, and I'm just going to kind of list them out so that, whenever we have the impulse or desire to show these traits, we don't feel the need to reduce them, but maybe to integrate them because if they're shown unhealthily, right, these things can be too destructive. And you see that in some, like some men that are like hyper competitive and they're hyper aggressive. It's not that the competition or the competitive nature or the aggression in and of itself is wrong. It's that they are not balanced, right? Just like when typically you find balanced men that are warriors, but they're quite masculine. Let's say, for example, a samurai. Samurais were known to do a lot of art and to enjoy things like flowers, right? So they balanced that masculine drive with the feminine to create quite a zen or serene, protective, patient man. So here are some of the traits. You've got they're disciplined, they're ordered, they're strong, principled, they're assertive, they have the drive for leadership, it's organized, it's competitive, it's action oriented, it's independent, it's brave, it's protective, it's direct, and it is dominating, right? And it's also quite willful as well. It's not about needs as much as it is about wants. Now, one of the things that I've seen that has been mixed up is that people believe that masculine energy chases after things when masculine energy doesn't chase anything. It's going towards its goal. And thank God, the sun, for example, is a great example of masculine energy. Now, imagine if the sun decided to chase the earth. The earth, which is a feminine construct, would be destroyed instantly because of the intensity and the power behind the sun. And so it's really good for us to kind of understand, in my opinion, those natures that are within us, and so that we can learn how to direct ourselves as human beings better. And let me reiterate, both men and women have this masculine energy within them. So let's look at what the conclusion is. Being male and being masculine is not the same thing. You are born a child. Let's say child, because women and men are part of this. Masculinity is not something that is naturally inherent a lot of the time. What happens over time is that through discipline and hard work, you develop your masculine traits, which then turns a boy into a man. It turns a girl into a woman because you are only evolved from that place of a child where you have developed principles and ways of living, right? That means that you can take responsibility of yourself as an independent being. And that is a masculine trait that both men and women need to develop. So next time you find yourself looking to do something and you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit like assertive, or I'm feeling a bit like aggressive, or I'm trying to do something for myself, right? Which sometimes I believe women struggle with this the most, trying to do something which is just for them, right? And they're told, no, you shouldn't do that. You have to sacrifice your whole life for your kids and your community, etc. That's not the case. Having a healthy balance and a healthy expression of your masculine energy is what will keep you alive and what will keep you manifesting the life that you want. Now, this is my first type of video like this. So please leave a comment below and tell me what you think, what I can improve on, and also what you want to hear next. And by the way, my name is Daryl. I'm a life coach. I would say a bit of a philosopher, and I'm also a sales manager for SBE. But last thing I want to tell you guys, always remember that no matter what anybody says, you are perfect by design. Peace.